in the bed.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. While my husband is trying to get in here and get in place, good morning to you guys. Don't shake the table, honey, if you can manage. If you cannot manage, thank you. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. I tried to tell him to hurry up. He don't stop paying attention to me. But good morning to you guys. Adele, good morning to you. You're first on the list today. And James Kessler. Hey, Bro K. And Kim. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Morgan. Good morning, Laverne. Enjoyed seeing everybody yesterday, Laverne. I really did. Let me just put you guys up here so they can see who's coming in. Here we go. Here we go. And hello, Deb. Leslie's coming in here. Hey, Leslie.
Hey, little Les.
And Alicia. Hi, sweetheart.
Alicia,
how are you?
How y'all doing?
Nathan. Good morning.
Good
to
morning.
you guys. Hadn't seen you on here with us in a while. I'm glad to see you this morning.
Okay.
Good morning, James D.
Good to see you.
Hello, Diana.
Princess Diana.
And Pat. Hello, Pat. And Valerie. And here comes Joe. Joe's in the house today. And this is a new name I don't think I've seen before. Gayon Middleton Carter. Let us know where you're from, Gayon, where you're coming in from. And we're glad you're with us this morning. Wow, it's another beautiful day. I'm wondering if winter is gone here in the South. I don't know. We've been having some very, very mild days. But it's been nice, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Been nice. So, and I know I've been enjoying it. I haven't been out a lot, but it's just still nice to not have to put on
really nice.
coats and things. Yeah, it's very, very nice. Nathan, I am so glad to see you.
Yeah, it's a treat to see you, man.
Hope the family's doing well.
It's been a while, but you're still in our hearts.
Mm-hmm. And there comes Sissy and brother-in-law.
Hey, sister-in-law.
No.
You better straighten up, girl.
Yeah. We're so glad you guys are with us today. Anyway, let's do a meditation. I am meditation. Vincent Kelly called it our I am not affirmations. Good morning, Apostle Norman. Good morning to
Pastor,
you.
Pastor, good to see you.
Yeah. And she's a Gayvon. I hope I'm saying your name right. Gayvon. She's a member of Bold. And okay.
Look at that.
Good.
Good to have you.
She's in a place called Courtsville, South Carolina.
What we talking about when we put all of them on the screen?
The Zoom?
Zoom. I want to do a Zoom with all of y'all.
Well,
I mean, everybody that's on now, I want to do a Zoom with all of y'all so I get a chance to see you and get personally involved with your questions and just what we can. If we can't answer it, somebody else in the group will be answering.
I'm going to move this little picture that we got up here of us in another place here. I've got to move that because it's in the way. I kind of like it, but it's in the way. Let's see if I can put it in another spot. Maybe it can stay. How about right there? Yeah, we'll leave it right there. We'll leave it right there. That's good. And here comes Sharon. Okay. And I hope me and Miss Essie. I was thinking about Miss Essie a lot yesterday.
We got to do something.
We've got to at least come and see you. We saw some of our people on yesterday with Laverne's mom's homegoing, which was a very sweet homegoing. We learned so many great things about her mom. How that she had impacted so many people's lives. It was just tremendous.
Yeah, I heard. Verna, I'll call you and talk to you about it.
Tremendous. But anyway, we are glad to see you guys with us this morning. And I'll set up a Zoom. But everybody that's listening, if we don't have your email and if you don't check your email, you won't know how to get into the Zoom. Yeah. So please,
we'd like to do that. Have a reunion or something like that with all you
emails. Guys. Now, I don't know how to do the texting thing. So for those of you who want it through a text, I'm sorry. I'm not that savvy. So it'll come through an email. The link will come through an email, and I'll make sure that you guys know when it's going to be. Okay? All right. Thank you, Gavon. I'll make sure that I keep your email. Thank you, sweetheart. And hey, there's Phyllis and Edwards. They're in
Good to
here.
see you guys.
Jackie Alexander's coming in.
Oh,
You
Jackie.
guys coming in today. Thank you. I'm
Hey,
glad-
I think y'all know something today.
Yeah.
I know you know that I know and everybody knows.
So now let's do an I am not affirmation, as Vincent Kelly calls it. Sharon said Miss Essie's doing fine. That's good. And watches sometime. Sometimes it's not good enough for me. I'm gonna have to get on that rascal. Hello, Diacolin and David, and you guys are really coming in today. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. And I've got your email, Diane. I'll make sure that I use that.
Some of you guys, like Miss S and Sharon, I would come to see you, but I've had the pandemic.
Yeah, he's had COVID, and he's just a little bit.
And I don't want to
little
come
bit
in
leery
there.
of getting
I'm a
around
little bit
people
weary
right
around
now.
being around people. I can love you now. If I come to see you, I might stay outside the door in the yard and talk to you. But I got to see you, girl. I got to find out.
Yeah,
I got to find
yeah.
out what you know and how things are going on inside.
Let's and here comes Vincent Kelly. I was wondering where you were, Vincent.
Oh, he's around there somewhere. I think he got the smell of the rabbit in his nose, and his dog is hunting.
And that's Kim. Thank you. That's your mom's email. Okay, I'll make sure that I get that as well. Thank you so much, Kim. And good morning, Sandra. Good morning to you. So anyway, let's do our I am affirmation. I'm going to add it here in the screen so that you can see it. And I'm going to make it a little larger for myself so that I can see it. Let's see what I can do here. There we go. And I've got to move. I'm going to have to do this.
On the light up there.
I need that light, honey.
Okay.
We need that light.
Well, let's go.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. I got to put my glasses on or something so I can see. I got to see. Okay, here I am. Here we go.
Are you here?
Ready. I am here. Yeah, I am here.
Let's see.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Baby, come on.
Baby, come on. I need you so bad. I cannot wait. Baby, come on.
How we
Why
gonna...
don't you come on and wrap yourself around me, and I'll wrap you in my arm. Come on, baby, let me show you.
Good morning, Dee Dee and
Hot
George.
dog, I got you, girl.
You see what he's doing already,
I have
right?
to sing to this girl sometime.
And I need you to slide on in a little bit
I'm
so
gonna
you can
slide
get
on
in the
in.
picture.
I want
We're trying to get ready here today. We're just
I want
discombobulated.
to tell you something before we get started, okay?
What, before I do the affirmation?
Yeah, go ahead. I can wait.
You sure?
Yeah, I wait.
Are you feeling sentimental today?
Yeah.
Well, let me get this out of the
No,
way.
go ahead.
And then
Go
you can.
I can wait on you.
All right, you guys. I want you to take a deep breath in, center yourselves, realizing where God is and who God is right here in the center of your being. And that there is no other place that God is. And repeat this after me. I am not this body, nor these thoughts, nor these feelings. I am consciousness itself. I am the background upon which all things appear. I am not any form, but I am the essence of all forms. I am the space between thoughts. This space, this place is where I live. I am always here. No one can touch me. No one can enter here where I am. Even my mind cannot enter here. I may forget who I am. I may forget where I am. But I cannot forget that I am. I am this knowing that knows that I am. And so it is, so it is, so it is. Yes, Pastor, he is in rare form today. All right, you wanted to share something.
Okay. I want to talk to you about the elegance and the already forgiving everybody everything self before anything said is done in the physical realm or the emotional realm. You are covered, and you have covered your forgiveness, repentant self through your eternal self, which is the eternal spirit that you are. You downside. I was studying and investigating into the eternal self, and there was a lady that left her body, had a near-death experience, and she went out of her body, and she saw everything that was needed, but the moment came where she had to come back in her body, and she asked the Lord, please don't take me back. Please don't let me go back. He said to her that she had not finished, and she had to go back. But when she came back and got in her body, she was like an ant crawling on the ground. She said her body was like a house, and she was just a little bitty light being moving around inside of it. And so the Lord showed her how to expand her consciousness inside of her body so that she could fill it out in the hands, the feet, the legs, like fingers filling out in a glove. And when she did that, she began to experience her body again. But what had happened to her as an eternal spirit, the impact of it was so grooved into her consciousness that she realized that she was then no longer identified with the physical world in her body, except for using it as a car, a Cadillac, or a catalyst to ride, or a chariot to ride on, like the prophetic Elijah in the New Testament. I want you guys to understand that there is a court, there is a session in heaven 24/7, which is inside of you, that is constantly hearing through your ears, your mouth, and eyes every geographical, emotional, physical, and through your eyes, seeing everything through your eyes is your eternal self. So anything that come up where there's a great decision or something that need to be done, believe me, from my experience of Acts, the 2nd chapter, through the determined foreknowledge and mind of God, you are in the conference room right now, in the Akashic record, which is the office and the room where all information is kept inside of you. And your eternal self is now working on everything. If it is house, cars, anything, don't worry about it. You just stay fixed into the path of no resistance identity. Take a deep breath and realize that what I'm telling you now is what I've experienced. I saw this and it was so real. Here's another one. I had to speak in Milwaukee, and my wife was working for a therapist company during that time. And as she was working, I asked her boss man, could she get off and fly with me to my next meeting? He said, yeah, but at the last time, they changed it.
Yeah, at the last minute.
It caused a conflict, and I knew that it was some kind of thing going on, but I just left it. I had to come to my destination. Here's the punch. When I was standing there in front of the audience speaking, all of a sudden I looked up, and there was my eternal self and my eternal spirit in the female form inside of her body was out there in front of me with another member of our church. She flew up unexpectedly, and I had to stop. I gave up my message. I gave up my sermon, and I had to hug her, and she came. She is the first female that in my entire life that I ever had that wanted to see and be with me so much that she was willing at the last minute to catch a plane and come all the way to this place where I was. I felt lonesome, but I had a calling and a job to do. But she helped me. She showed me. She healed me. She showed me that there are women, that some of you guys and some of you girls out there, you are really a heart being. When I looked at her, I didn't know that the Jesus or the Christ that I am sitting here was still working on a way to get to me. That Christ eternal self in your body, I don't care what has been going on with you financially, what is going on with you about understanding enlightenment, the middle path, whatever your subject or your topic is, your eternal wisdom identity, God identity, downsize itself to come inside this body just to show you that each one of y'all is like a separate individual, that there's nobody else in the world but you, but yet there's a part of you that has expanded itself in these bodies and surely knows that everything, my God, is actually your God present. You may call him Buddha any other name. Some of y'all have problem with calling names in different Bibles and books and who translate. Please go silent on this thing. Sit still and notice the wisdom and the tremendous miracle power of God that operates through you in your undivided self. That undivided self is working on everything that you did and was invested into from a childhood up to now. And now that he is here in 2022, he is now you working to make sure that everything that happened to you through feeling, it says in the scripture, he's touched the lamb, the sheep, the animal of God in heaven is touched with the feeling of your infirmity. You are the infirmity, but yet you are the answer to the infirmity. So what you did in your eternal self was that you took on everything in this world that you knew that was going to be a challenge that only your eternal essence could answer. You're ready now. You're ready to move on in. You're ready to take this thing. You're ready to say to every feeling that don't feel like God is with you and everything that has happened to you from divorce, marriage, men, relationship, bad memory, house broken, disturbed identities, everything that happened to you as a child, where you were raised up, whether you had food to eat, whether you now have clothes and about to lose something in your house, your bill is increased and your living expenses. God is now in that place because you are the place of the holiness of God. I can go on, y'all, so I'm going to let this lady say something.
I'm just watching how he does this. He's going.
Oh, I'm telling you, I feel it.
Like you're pulling it out or something. I don't know what you're doing.
And you know, the reason why I'm doing this is because I found out. This morning, I found out personally how to switch from mind to heart.
How did you find out? Tell us.
I'm studying something. I'm believing God to give me $3,000 somewhere for my Jeep to be fixed before inspection. Because if it's not, and I don't find a way, I'm going to have to let it stay parked. But I found out after investigating into this, I was looking for something online about a catalytic converter in my Jeep, and I kept looking at it, and all of a sudden inside it said to me, my inner self said, switch over from mind to heart. And when I did, I looked at it and I was reminded what my wife told me on the phone yesterday. She said, the money, the $3,000 is covered. You get it. And it started unfolding itself. And I didn't know that when she said that to me, I went back over it again inside, and I saw the voice of the Lord walking in the cool of the evening. He said, now you know how to switch from thinking to what is.
Can you tell us what you actually switched, how you switched?
Well, my mind was thinking, this is what I need. This is how I'm going to get it. Then
Okay. So your mind was in the mode of figuring it
figuring
all
out. That's right. Figuring out how this going to happen, how it's going to happen,
Right.
and what has happened to me in the past.
So what took place for you to get out of that?
All of a sudden, it happened in like my inner self said to me in thought. I had thought. My thought train, my thinking changed.
So there was an interruption.
Yes.
In the
like the one with the issue of blood.
Out.
She said, if I could touch the hem of his garment, I shall be made whole.
Right.
But it switched over when she touched Jesus. Her mind switched over. So by knowing who we are and what is my economy in God, I said, why don't I just use my heart to do it? And it was just what I needed.
So the interruption came into the figuring.
Yeah.
And so the figuring phased out.
I realized that the figuring was him.
Right.
Doing it through me in the form of an idea.
So the figuring.
And I said, all right. I said, now I know how to do it. So I said, I listened to my heart. I said, now heart, when I switched over to the heart, everything was okay and taken care of.
Did all of the figuring out stop?
No, but I knew what was the mind trying to figure versus who was my true thinking.
Okay. So your knower.
I had to experience
your knower took over
the
thinking mind.
Just like you saying, I wondered what am I going to do today. Then all of a sudden you just lose thought of it, and another idea say, oh, like you forgot something. So, you see this? Oh yeah, this is what I'm saying. All of a sudden I realized that I had forgotten about what I could do and what I had. Wait a minute.
He's beating my hand.
Wait a minute. I realized that the constant thinking. It all dawned on me like a light bulb, say boom, and I said, the real me is not thinking about this 24/7.
Right.
And when I did that, it switched over. Wait a minute, here's something in the scripture, and the book says, it said something about, beloved, believe not all spirits.
Believe not every spirit.
But it says, try the spirit to see whether it be of God or not. And when I switched it over and put the translation of Saul translation in, it said, beloved, Believe not every thought. But these thoughts that are coming to you, separate them. Discern. Okay. Like, for instance, I heard...
So did you just take the time to do that, or was it an automatic interruption?
I was studying it, and the grace of God showed it to me. And I'm giving you guys the shortcut version of it.
I'm glad you said that. Because I had and I want to put up some of these comments. Vincent says, yes, I studied the same thing this past week. Your true self is the answer to the obstructions in the illusion called life. You can manifest everything needed and sometimes not needed. Yes. So now, when you said there was a direct, I had a dream this week, and I told him about it yesterday.
Go ahead.
In the dream, it was, or I'll say in the experience, because you wouldn't call it a dream. You would say I was traveling in my sleep at night. But anyway, in this experience, I was trying to get to a destination.
I can sit here now and hear in your talking to them who it is and your essence that's talking mixed in with spirit.
Okay.
Then I can tell in your grammar, vocalization, I can tell that. And listen to this. I'm telling you, this is what's happening to y'all. More of you, as the real self, is overpowering your conversation more now than it used to.
I hear you. I understand what you mean.
And it's not something.
There's less personal, and more of
And I can tell in your voice that there's a gradual change enough in you and your conversation and your talking in every day that is the revealed. The reason why I'm saying, because I sense that voice, I sense that place in me, and I use my tone and word to amplify that. There is a real you. From the day that I met you, that real you has been looking out of your eyes at me. Like, say, for instance, here's the way I do it. I go back and look at the pictures of you when we met.
You were in a romantic.
Now wait a minute, I'm using this. I look at those pictures that you took when we first met, and look at you now, and I can say that's what she was, but it does not exist anymore. And I say, and this is what happened to me this morning. Then I say, that is gone in the picture, and that is present now is God. Now I see God now in you, who has never changed, but yet your physical suit has changed, and you haven't aged a bit in your essence. So in order to understand you, I had to switch over from that picture of you then and see you now, and fully receive the truth that you are the real self sitting here now.
And that's for all of us.
That's all of that's for all of us.
The essence of who we are
Yeah.
is who we truly.
If
That
you-
is who we truly
So
are.
the key to the walk of the Spirit and the key to your eternal self is your essence.
Yeah. Now you can let me tell what I
Yeah,
said.
go ahead.
I'm gonna have to put a pin on him today and make him slow down. Anyway, I had this experience in my night sleep, and it was I was trying to get a destination, and I realized in the experience that there were two ways to get there. One was what I call the direct path. The other was a roundabout way, which was simpler. It was simpler, easier, but it was a longer way to get there. I had traveled it before, and I didn't want to keep traveling it again because it took too long to get to the destination. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to go the direct path.
Okay.
But I realized in the experience that the direct path was a very narrow path, and it was a path with obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to find it. It's almost like I had been on it before, but I lost the way to get to it. And there was a key person that right now I know is working in the field of psychotherapy and psychology, who said to me, this is where the gateway is in this experience. And so I found the gateway, got on the path. The path was so narrow, and it was so many obstacles. There were hills, valleys, there were rivers, there were all kinds of things I had to go through. It was not a straight path, but it was a path that would get me to the destination sooner. And then I realized that there is a scripture. After I woke up, I realized there was a scripture that matches that when Jesus said, straight is the gate and narrow is the way and to life, and there's few there be that finds it.
Okay.
Remember he said that. And so I realized that this was telling me the direct path to knowing who you are requires that you go through inner work. You've got to go through the inner work. That's why I saw the person who was a psychotherapist. That was the gateway. I had to go through the inner work. I had to do the inner work on myself. You remember when Jesus was on the cross, they said, physician, heal thyself? We've got to heal ourselves. And so when we do that inner work, we find the gateway to the direct path to finding who we truly are. And some of us think we know who we are because we found out what we can do. We found out who we should be with, where we should live. I'm going to be just myself. I'm going to allow my personality to be what it is. I don't care what other people think about how I am or what. That's not finding yourself. Finding yourself is finding that essence that you mentioned.
And it's already there. It's
already there. But because we've gone the scenic route.
Okay.
We have not taken the direct path through the inner work. We have failed to see who we truly are. And so the true essence of us is, I'll give you an example. It's like having a gold necklace. If you had a gold necklace, you could get rid of the necklace in the fire, but you couldn't get rid of the gold. So no matter what you did to the gold, it would remain. But it could take any shape. It could take any shape, serve any purpose. But in its essence, it will always remain.
Millions of pieces of gold, billion pieces of gold and answers.
Yes.
From your ancient 10,000th evolution time as the same juice in many 10,000s of bodies and conditions that you've been in. You have not lost 1 ounce of your divine essence.
You cannot.
You cannot. No, you can't. You can't do it.
There's no way you can lose yourself.
Glory be to God.
You cannot
Glory
lose
be to
yourself.
God. The doctor can do surgery on you and move any part out. But I have seen the operation room of God when I was in the physical world in operation for my shoulder and for different parts of this physical body. And I saw another team of doctors beyond the veil that was working in my spirit identity essence to make sure that the places in my spirit matched up with God's identity. So when I was fixed up in my body, what was done to me physically could not interfere. God has fixed this thing in your divine essence, and you agreed to it in your God identity, that coming here would not deter you for 1 minute. That's the reason why all of you guys are now listening to this, and more are coming on, because there is a beckoning light and a sense in your spirit. It looks like you're thinking it, but all of a sudden you said, I think I researched on this cause and effect this morning on the computer, and join what the classes are now that you're listening to on our station.
It's not a station.
Well, on this class, in this class, you are absolutely amazed.
Now, can you slow down for just a minute?
I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it
because I've got to read some of these comments, and we've got you just on a roll today.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent says the heart operates in truth, which is the unknowing. The mind operates in intellect, which is the I think, therefore I am. And then I want to mention some of the other comments here. Sandra mentioned the fact that she says, oh my God, the gas prices are so high, but my real self does not concern itself because
that's your condition self right there.
Effortlessly it will be taken care of. Thank you, sweetie. And that's the switch over.
Yeah, your God self is not talking about that.
Your God self is not worried about it, but your God self will prepare. It will prepare. And then Judy says, what a great dream, so wonderful that you remembered it, and we were able to share the message with us, and you were able to share it with him this morning. Yeah, and I'm coming to the understanding, Judy, that I don't have to try so hard to get to the destination. It's the trying so hard to get to the destination sometimes that makes me not get there. And not be there, I should say. And so, anyway, Sean says this. Sean says, true essence is there, but thoughts and feelings can cloud it out. They can if you go to the thoughts and feelings and identify with them.
That's the reason why in these classes we're trying to show you how to identify with this.
How to disidentify
in spite of the noise.
Yes, disidentify.
That's the key to abundance.
Exactly. So when we identify strongly with our thoughts and feelings, it's because we think that we are the one thinking.
We've been conditioned for that.
And we think that we're the one feeling.
Yeah.
But there is a sufferer
yes.
and there is a thinker,
yes.
and neither of them are you.
Ooh.
Neither of those are you.
Now we got you on the right tracks. You're now flowing. The tracks look to be crooked, but the train is still on the rails. Now, don't care how much noise. See, what it is in this class, we're bringing and presenting to you yourself. We are the self of you talking to itself on this.
That's true.
In this class.
Now I have to share something, Sean. You were the one in my dream.
Yes, she was. She really.
You were the one in my dream that said this is the gateway.
You told. Yeah, I remember you saying
the
that.
Gateway is the psychotherapy. The gateway is the inner work. The gateway is learning to disidentify with the thoughts and the feelings. That's the gateway.
Look at that.
That's the direct. That's the gateway. Or the portal, or the passageway to the narrow path.
And she was standing at that place.
She was standing in a place,
Yeah.
but not at the gateway.
Okay.
But she pointed to
Are
where the
you
gateway
trying
was.
to tell me that in this dimension, in these classes of earth, we are each other's direction?
Sure. So
Excuse me.
now what I realized is when I had the experience, Sean, is that the reason I saw you is because Spirit was saying to me, it's the inner work that helps you to find the direct path. However, the inner work cannot be where you stay and remain. That's just the gateway. The gateway gets you into the direct path, but it's dealing with the obstacles, dealing with the twists, the turns, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, and finding your own. This path in the experience was a very narrow path. It was not one sometimes that I could even see because it wasn't well traveled. It was one. It wasn't one that everybody had traveled on. It was one that only a few had traveled on, and you could see where it was a path, but it was not very detectable. So this is what we're saying, and the non-dual teachers are saying this as well, that there's a direct path to knowing who you are. You can bypass all the therapies, but you gotta go through the therapies to get to the direct path.
There you go.
So anyway, I gotta move on. Vincent says, I like to think you find yourself through interior freedom, freeing yourself of your false self. Yes, sir. And it's basically freeing yourself of your false self is just when you begin to see, like you did.
Yeah.
You realize my pure self isn't thinking about this. It isn't trying to figure this out. So you realize you are identifying with the thinker.
Something can see and understand
and
this.
the moment you realize that you're identifying with the thinker, you can back out. It's
it's
so
just
easy
like
to
that.
back out. Yes. Buzz says, often we're looking in the wrong place, which keeps us running in circles. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yolanda says this, and this is a new person I've never seen before. Thank you, Yolanda, for being here. If you've been with us before,
have you with us.
let us know where you're coming in from. She says, I agree. Inner self-healing is the path that leads you to a wonderful, loving relationship with yourself, God, and everything else. You return to oneness. Yes.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you about this. I'm gonna speak to you on that.
Okay.
First of all, you don't have to return to oneness.
That's it.
Second of all, you never left from being
You never left
one.
being one.
And the third one that I see here, you have already and always will agree to every path that has. So, see, the path we've been told that the path leads us. You are the path and the identity of the Christ that's walking the path of your own self.
Now, in the experience, it's interesting because, and I've been contemplating this ever since I had it. In the experience, the path was not lit. It was no light. I was the light.
That's it.
I was the light that lighted my own way, and in the experience as well, there were places where it was hard to get through.
Listen to this.
It was hard to get through.
This is going to bless you.
Okay.
I heard Bishop Jake talk about the wise men, and it's in the book, that heard about Jesus and they set out to find where he was in the manger.
Yes.
But Jake said this. He said, if you realize the way they were going during that time, there was no street lights.
Yes.
There was nothing but either a torch, but it said that the angel of the Lord, their true self, appeared unto them,
Yes.
and the light like a star led them to the exact place. What you're talking about now, glory be to God. Glory be to you. Glory be to us and them. God was the light. And when they got closer and closer to where the Christ was, that light that was in the sky that led them became the light in the manger, and the light in the manger was inside of them.
Now I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by inner work.
Go ahead.
Because I know that we can get stuck on processing and trying to fix ourselves, and that can be a vicious merry-go-round. And so I remember years ago when we were really, really in the box, I say, in the confines of religion and Pentecostalism and all of this stuff. We had the opportunity to go to what they called at the time a sharing group. Don't stop me for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
A sharing group, and this particular sharing group, their main theme was deliverance. So when you go there, that's all they talked about. That's all they did. Okay, people coughed, belched, passed gas, all kinds of stuff in there getting delivered. And I remember that they did this Sunday and Sunday, week after week, week after week, month after month, year after year. The same people were being delivered, constantly being delivered, but never, ever being free.
Not finishing.
There was one girl that I remember. Her name was Paige. And Paige said she had a problem making decisions. She could not make a decision. But she didn't realize she was making a decision not to make a decision.
Right there, just being there.
Right. She was already making a decision to not make a decision. So they prayed for her. They cast out this demon of not making a decision. The first thing she did when she got free, she decided to leave her husband. But they were going through this cycle for years and never coming to freedom. So you can work on the self. You can work on the symptoms forever and never get to the root of the problem. So I'm saying that the gateway was the inner work. That's the gateway, but that is not the path.
You know, you reminded me something back in the past. There was a young man that we was around that had prosthesis of legs, one of the legs were made.
Okay.
And he was telling us about something that happened to him in his childhood. And here's what it was. He said that his daddy tried to take an axe and kill him.
Okay.
I didn't know this. And I started looking around the audience because I knew that the angel that talked to me was in that service, and I followed him. I saw what it means to judge yourself with a righteous judgment or with the right judgment. All of a sudden, I was standing in front of him, and I felt like my uncle or my daddy was trying to kill me with an axe.
Yeah, I remember that.
And when I found out how to separate the thoughts and give myself the right judgment, I said, now, why am I all of a sudden thinking
You knew that
like
wasn't
this?
you.
I knew it.
Yes. And that's the key.
That's
you
the
know
key
that's not you.
to your eternal
Your
self.
knower.
Knowing how the real self look at things.
Yes. Now that doesn't
And that ain't hard to do, is it?
And that doesn't mean you won't react.
Yeah.
Because I had a reactive meltdown last week.
Ask yourself, who is this reacting to?
And Pastor Norman said you were being a mere human. I said, no, I was being a mad God.
Yeah.
I knew who I was.
Yeah.
I knew
now
exactly
you understand
who I
what
was.
a mad God looks like.
I knew. Got to the point of being angry.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm going to cut this off.
You knew it wasn't him.
I'm going to cut this off.
You knew it wasn't
I'm
your
gonna
real self.
end this conversation right now.
Yeah.
So that I won't sin.
So
I won't
you did it.
lose my true identity.
That's right.
That's exactly right. So
that's what you call losing your true identity. But you really didn't lose anything.
Exactly. But I felt like Jesus going in there with the whips to run out of the place.
Yeah.
So that, that's all. That is not just being human. That is being, period. That is beingness. But I wanted to, before you move on,
go ahead.
we've got some more great conversations here. Yolanda says, let me read Diacolins. She says, we cannot lose ourselves, but we can lose our perception of self. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Oliver says, why don't y'all just tell it all? We are telling it all, Olive. We're telling it as much as we can.
You know, over the years, Bishop Oliver. I'll call you Bishop. Let me share something with you, all of you. And this was going on during the time you were with us in the brick and mortar, Bishop Vincent and Bishop Oliver. I've always been this I want you to know the secret of the mystery behind how things work.
Yeah, you've always been that way. I say you are a scientist at heart.
I wanted, and I do now, want you to know the full impact of this story. First of all, if it is a story, you made it like this.
Exactly.
If it is not a story and you don't see it, you're not ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
If you catch on to what we're saying, it's not because you can't hear, it's because you may not be ready to hear. But the moment that you are ready, your mind of Christ will remember these words. This day is the day that you are finally realizing how to separate your thoughts from the false self versus the real you. I stood in front of this young man, and all of a sudden I felt like a murderer or somebody was trying to kill me. And I began to judge myself, and I began to look.
To judge the feeling.
The feeling. I said, that's not me. Beloved, believe not every thought. Beloved, believe not every feeling.
But you were like a conduit.
But separate the thought. Separate the feeling.
The feelings were passing through you. And
Yes.
I often say this, we're like
Yes.
transistor radios. We are receptors. We pick up thoughts and things that are not even ours.
I have a taste for pimento cheese right now. I mean, it just thought come up, and I say, why would I want to jump up now and run in and get pimento cheese? I'm on the line talking to these people. I separate the thought. That's not me. That's not the real me doing that. See, I'm giving you a parable of it.
Yeah,
so what I
yeah.
did when I stand in front of a young man, I stopped and I settled down into my true identity. Mm-hmm. And I said, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about me, because I knew I was clear in that area.
But you had to go through that.
I had to go through that
internal process.
That internal class and learn. And I said, and my internal spirit said, you're talking about the man in front of you. I knew it wasn't me. That's you must know enough about your eternal self.
Yes. So now after I had the reactive meltdown,
yes,
I went back and I contemplated the whole thing.
Yes.
Now I didn't allow my mind to go back and say,
Yes.
I wish I'd said this and I wish I'd done that. I
Yes.
felt that,
Yes.
but I wouldn't allow that.
Yes.
So what I did was I contemplated and I said, okay, what was it that made the reaction come?
Mm-hmm.
And I could have said to this person something totally different.
Okay.
Than what I said.
Okay.
Had I not felt
yes.
threatened.
Okay.
So the threatening hit the egoic self.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the egoic self said, blast. It blasted. But in the midst of the blasting, I came to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And realize who I am, and I cut it off. So this is what usually happens. Jill says this: it takes work to see the person or personality is false and live from essence. It takes deliberation and intention to live your truth, to live what you know is true. It takes deliberation and intention. I am going to be that pure essence. I'm not going to try to be it. I'm going to be it.
I am it.
Mm-hmm.
No effort.
Right.
Here it is. You remember when you were in school in the first, second grade, and every once in a while, that before the year was over, there was a special teacher that came. What would they call that teacher in school that come into the classroom? Substitute teacher.
That's when your other teacher was out.
Yeah, when the other teacher was out, we had a substitute teacher.
Exactly.
Now watch this. Here it is. You knew the difference between the substitute teacher and your real teacher in first and second grade, regardless of who they put in to fill in. Some of you found out how to just fall in love with the substitute teacher, and some of you did not accept the substitute teacher because you got familiar with your original teacher. Now this is discernment. What was it that was sitting there in that chair, go into it, that was watching the substitute teacher? The substitute teacher symbolizes the substitute of your identity, or the substitute of your being your conditioned self. You were conditioned at that moment to understand the difference between the substitute teacher and the real teacher that was with you 24/7. Your teacher now is your eternal self that has been. Listen, ain't no use you rushing it. You're not going to miss 1 iota of knowing your true self.
Even if you act out of character.
That's right.
When it's over,
Oh, that's the big one.
over,
oh, baby, that's a good one.
you
That's a good one.
will, after you've come to yourself, you will look back on it and you will do the inner work
Yes.
and realize what it was that triggered it. And then
That's
you
it.
will fix that
That's
in yourself.
God's the teacher. He's the substitute and the real teacher. Your real self. Let me tell you something.
So don't pass sentence on yourself
That's right.
when you do react. Don't pass sentence. Just go back and relive it and know what could have been done differently in your pure being.
I'm going to tell you guys something that just came to me in my inner self. Said this. Tell everybody online to start taking a lot of vitamin C and B vitamins.
You should be doing that already.
Yeah, but he said he impressed it on me
Well, it's
to
fine
tell
for
all
you to
of you
say
that.
yeah.
And,
but they
and
should have been
condition-
doing that since the pandemic. Should have been doing that anyway.
I don't know, but if you are, then be persistent.
But you're saying that's definite that we need to do that.
That's what I just sensed, the urge. Don't drop your guard.
Also, I felt this. We
Okay,
talked
go
about
ahead.
this the other day. If you have to take your car or anything that to a mechanic or anything like
and
that,
they have to mess with it.
sanitize your
Steering wheel.
and your
There
dash,
you go.
all of that when you get back to your car.
See, here's a little humor for you. Them guys sit in my seat and they put that paper down on your seat to keep from getting it messed up. And some of them get in there and they don't even put the paper down. I called them to the side. I said, let me tell you something about my car. They say, what is it? I said, did you sit in my seat? They said, yeah. I said, did you notice anything different about my seat when you sat down in? Said, no. I said, listen, I should have told you from the beginning that I got 4 or 5 years of investment in that seat that you sit in the driver's side. I said, one thing, I got a lot of gas in that seat, and I've been blasting that seat for 3 or 4 years, and you going to come in and sit down in my seat and not realize what I've been doing in my seat? I said, you're going to have to be careful because I don't want you to disturb the metamorphosis. And then it came to me. Watch this. Hold it. I'm going to tell you something. This is good.
Go ahead.
When I was in the council chamber, and the chairs around the table, which we are in fulfilling now, I walked in the room, and when I did, my angel was standing beside me. He was as wide as this table we sitting at, and he was about 11 or 12 feet tall. I asked Jesus at the end of the table, who was it that was sitting in those chairs before we came in? And he didn't say anything. All of a sudden, I could look down through the top of the table. It looked like it was glass. I looked down through there, and I could see an energy, different colors in each one of those chairs around the table. Now watch this. As I looked at those chairs, one morning I was in the old house, and I was walking. And I said, "Who was it sitting in those chairs?" And he said, "Go in your Bible into the table of contents." And he said, "Read off the names." You were there.
Yeah.
All of you guys were there. I looked at Nehemiah.
You're not going to read them all.
No,
right?
just a parable of Esther, Job, Jeremiah, Isaiah. And it dawned. I said, when I did that, I switched over from the natural into the supernatural by looking at it from the eyes of God. When you start looking at yourself from the eyes of God, your real self. Wait a minute, let me tell you something. This thing is burning in my soul today.
Yeah, I know.
I want you to get to him, but listen to this.
We're running out of
I
time.
know we are. Don't worry about it. Just relax. Just relax.
relaxed.
Okay. All these people were sitting in those chairs, and I saw the evidence of it. You guys, this morning, and he told me something about you while I'm sitting here. He said, your discernment has now been settled. That you are now in an advanced class, not any better than anybody else, but God just added to you another layer of favor with him and me, which is not necessary, but I'm telling you this in the finite mind.
I got you.
You're going to see God. You're going to see some things about the Spirit of God in your secret time of meditation upstairs in another room. He said he's going to show you some things about the author and the finisher of your biography.
Okay.
And with you guys out there, he is showing you this week the answer to a lot of, don't worry about the price of gas going up. You'll always have enough to do what God has shown you to do.
And you'll always have what you need.
That's
and
right.
the thing is now, some of our desires may be cut back, but that'll be okay. I got to read some of these comments, baby, before we get off of here. Sean says, more of the divine self coming up. Example, things that I would say to others I didn't have knowledge about. Some say, oh, that is exactly what my aunt or uncle said to me.
Yeah.
And then she says,
That's what Samuel and Eli.
to my clients. Yeah. And so,
Ooh-wee.
thank you, Sean. I'm glad you do, sweetie. I'm glad you
So
like this.
what you say? You
She
are
says she loves that. Yeah. So Buzz says counseling is difficult for me. I'm not good at expressing myself, but I know I need to heal. Everybody does, Buzz. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not seeing a counselor. My inner counselor is who helps me.
Yeah,
Your
see that.
inner counselor.
Yeah, I see that.
So, like I said, when there's reactions, when there's things that I think that I know are not coming from my pure essence, I go back and revisit it. I revisit it and I look at it deeply. I look at it honestly as to what I was triggered by, what I have identified with, and who the sufferer is. I look at all of that. So you can do your own inner work. You don't have to be with a counselor. It's good if you have someone you can talk it out with, because that's what psychotherapy is pretty much, is you talking it out. But you can talk it out within yourself with your God self that's inside you. I'll be honest with you. I have conversations with God right here inside myself. He talks to me and I talk back, and I talk back to myself. Is him talking to me? It's like conversations with God with Neil Donald Walsh. You're talking to God. You're talking to me. You're talking to yourself. You're talking to God.
That's so close. It's close.
I ask myself a question and I answer it.
We are not. Look, listen. You and I are not waiting for Christ to appear in the sky. We're looking already at Christ appearing to us through many life things and things that are happening. Buzz, it don't matter, because right where you are in this place that you talk about not being able to, difficult to communicate, don't worry about it, Buzz. You are exactly where God
wants you.
Met you, is you.
Where God,
just relax.
You are placing God exactly where God wants to be placed.
I guarantee you, Buzz, when it comes time for something to be said, you'll push that stuff to the corner of the ditch, and you'll work right through it so easy.
And you got to remember,
I'm excited about what God is doing.
You have to remember, it's not you. It's not God placing you.
That's right.
It's you placing God where God wants to be placed.
And you do that every day. Right now you're doing it with God. Right, God, you put God on this class, and God is listening to himself inside of everybody in this class. I'm so excited about you guys out there. I could bust a tube.
Pastor Norman brought up a good point. The ego went into defense mode. And notice I almost said I went into defense mode. But I caught it. My essence, the true essence of what I am, caught it.
I like that.
I did not go into defense mode, but the ego did.
Look.
Because anytime you feel small, that's the ego. That is the ego.
You know what? While you've been sitting here talking, I'll tell you what happened to me. You just taught me how to take rest in playing the guitar and in music. Because when you say, let me finish this, I see my guitar saying,
Use your handkerchief.
Oh,
boo.
okay. I guess I have. Yeah, I feel the rest period. The rest period, and I said, hold it. There's a place in music where the guitar come in, and he may not be able to do but one little note. Boom.
Well, let me finish this.
But you
I
taught
know-
me this
yeah.
this morning.
Well, I'm glad I did. Let me finish this because I know you guys got to go eat some chicken or something, and we've got an appointment later too.
Yeah, we have got 12
Renee
o'clock.
says conditioned cell goes onto autopilot, and you caught it in action. Yes, I did. I did.
Wow.
And you can too. Jill says she's in her airport shaking her head up and down looking silly. And then she says they're supposed to put plastic down. Some do, but she's talking about when we talk about the car. See, they're getting delayed. They're giving messages to what we said back some time ago. So it's not in real time here.
Pastor Norman got to go.
Yeah, he's got to go. Yeah.
We enjoyed having you with us.
Enjoyed
man.
having you guys with us.
There's some new ones on his
And
morning.
Yolanda says she's watched us maybe 5 times. Well, thank you, sweetheart. She's in California. I'm glad.
Really?
I'm
She
glad
is?
you have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, I like the way you guys are coming on this morning.
Yeah, Judy
This
says she's
afternoon.
got to go. Let me put up here how to give. I know some of you don't know that and may know that.
Please
But I
do.
want. Well, I'm not going to say please.
Yeah, I just say please do.
You can say please.
Yeah.
I'm going to say thank you.
I'm gonna say thank you. Please do. That's it.
Yes,
And
thank you.
for the miracle of finances that are coming into our life by the presence of God.
Yes, and Jill is also posting how to give. So we thank you guys for being diligent about your tithes and offerings to Cornerstone, which is
Yes.
still a virtual church.
Yes.
And it still keeps it has its own expenses and things that has to continue. And it helps Pastor and I when you do Cash App to us. So if you want to text directly to Cornerstone, you can do CLC Greensboro to
Yes.
73256 or paypal.me/cornerstone35, or you can mail
Yes.
to P.O. Box 36259 Greensboro, North Carolina 27416. Or you can Cash App Pastor and I with $A Sawyer C.
Yes.
And if you can just say that it's a gift, and thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to take off here. We got to take baby girl, who's right here on the side with us here, who's got to go to the vet today and get her a checkup. She's been pretty good today. I've been giving her treats, and she's been very nice over here.
We
She's only-
learned some things about her that, and also about
Yeah,
ourselves.
we've gotten some insight about her.
She's been having some reflux and acid, and so we took her to the doctor. Doctor can never find it. So the wife and I went into the inner
did some
sanctuary
research,
of
yeah.
God, and in the research, he showed us that she was having acid reflux.
Acid reflux, yeah. So
And-
we're going today to try to get her let her go to an appointment so
You
they
know
can
what?
help us with what to do for her.
Leslie, we love all of you guys out there. I'm gonna say it like this is gonna be different, with the love of a kitten.
Love her with
You know, we've heard the old saying when we was little: handle somebody with kid gloves.
You know what kid gloves are, don't you?
Yeah. What?
You know what kid gloves are?
Yeah. What are they?
They're not kittens.
No, but I'm gonna use this as kid. Handle your love.
It's a soft leather.
Yeah, it's soft.
It's real soft
gentle.
leather.
Do you know God is allowing all of you now to come into His workshop and see how He is doing the work of perfection in everything that comes into your life today and each time you come on this class.
Thank you guys for tuning in to us today. We will be back on Tuesday night at 7 and again on Thursday, Lord willing. If nothing doesn't change, we'll be back at 12:30 with Pastor Norman
Thank
for
you. Thank
our
you.
weekly conversation.
Yes.
And we've been having some great conversations with Pastor Norman.
Don't tell nobody.
Yeah. And then right in the middle of the day. around
Hey,
12:30.
that stuff is so rich you could hit a bull between his eyes with your fist and knock him to his knees.
And when we have our class when we do our session on Thursdays with Pastor Norman, it's pretty much based on how we as pastors have navigated through this pandemic and how we are coming to a place now of knowing what our full potential is and how to navigate through change. So that's what we're usually talking about. And if you're interested, join us on Thursdays at 12:30. We know Vincent will be there if he's not
Hey,
working.
we really appreciate you guys.
So we love you. We'll see you again on Tuesday. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
I wonder why this thing is